Hello, my name is William Bryan. I am part of the Business Communication 301 group project, and this is my exit interview. Our group project was a review of work from home strategies, and our subject was the Nebraska Department of Transportation. Now, our group focused on the analysis of the work from home initiative that was rolled out by the Nebraska DOT. They already had a existing work from home policy, and this was just kind of an expansion on it where everybody was going to work from home, not just a few people. So this made the process a little bit smoother. Now, in our research, our focus was on security, productivity, adapting, coping methods. These all rounded up our research and suggestions into how to come up with a good work from home guideline and expectations and uh, ways of making sure that it was successful. Now, my role in the group was to understand the roles of the department in the Nebraska Department of Transportation and then provide research that was able to back up the suggestions that we were going to provide and any changes that we were going to recommend beyond what was already in place, or even helping to back up what they did already have in place. It started with asking a lot of questions around how the department operates. How many people are in the department? How many people need to be in the office on a given day? What their current work from home guidelines were before the pandemic and what they changed to now. What security measures were in place to protect both the employee and the business's assets. Uh, and once we were able to establish how the department operated, we then needed to identify what was going to be the best recommendations to give the Nebraska DOT to ensure that this transition was going to be successful. Our research focused around studies into telecommuting and work from home studies, any guidance from high level peers. While some of these were found on the Forsyth Library, most of the articles were found from reputable sources. Most of the articles that were found inside the Forsyth Library were dated articles on telecommuting studies um, and different data sets or different surveys that they performed in how to measure the before and after with the work from home. Outside, we did find reputable sources from Norton. We had a web page that had CEOs from different companies collaborating on best practices for various parts of the business, but in this case, it was work from home guidelines that they found helped, where in other areas, in this particular case, Yahoo had a bit of a failure on their work from home. Common theme around these articles surrounded three main areas. That was security, productivity, and communication. Those are all three critical things that you want to have good guidelines around in order to ensure work from home is successful. So that's why we wanted to make sure that our report focused around that as well. Now, looking back on the project, I feel that I contributed to the group at a level that was within the expectations of my peers. Now, I word it that way because of the fact that I'd always see that there's areas of opportunities. There's definitely things that I could have done that would have improved things. I could have found a way to establish communication earlier on, and I'll get to that a little bit later. However, the quality and accuracy of my data, that was critical to my contribution. I'm an analytical person. I always need to understand the what's and the whys when I'm doing something. So I definitely want to make sure that if we're going to recommend something, this is going to be backed up by information that I provided. Um, so uh, an area of opportunity that I did find was communication. Um, one thing that you want to do when you have a group project is establish the communication guidelines very early on. So you know how you're going to communicate, you know where that communication is going to be done, and you have expectations for when that communication is going to happen. If not with regularity, at least at certain points, we're going to have something that tells us where the project stands. One thing that I would say is another area of opportunity is when you have a virtual class, or when you have a pandemic going on where everybody is studying from home and doesn't have the ability to go out and go places that they would typically be able to go to, being able to find the time to actually meet together with the group is difficult. So that is understandable, but definitely that's something that is critical to ensuring the progress of the project, is just having meetings. They don't have to be lengthy. They just be 15, 20-minute touch points to just establish where we're at with the project. And then moving forward, everybody has a busy schedule. Everybody has different times when they're available, but everybody can find 15, 20 minutes where they can just quickly get together, discuss where we're at, and set the expectations for what's going to happen next, and then move forward. And without that, everybody is kind of working on the project on their own to achieve the same goal, and it's not quite as efficient that way. Of the other two people in the group, Jesse and Danielle, they definitely did a great job on the project. They went above and beyond in their areas, providing structure, providing the graphics and things like that that helped kind of make the report stand out a bit more. They also went back and cleaned up some of the other areas of the report prior to getting it ready for submission. So definitely they went above and beyond those aspects. With Kelsey, I would love to be able to say it, but because of the fact that we didn't have regular communication, because of the fact that we didn't have regular meetings, I can't really say where her contribution was in the report. I know what was supposed to be. It was making sure that the bibliography and everything like that was all in place and things like that. But I didn't see that it was actually contributed. I had an email from her early on in October. That was the last email I had from her on the project. So I will go on the record by saying I'm going to assume that whatever she was responsible for, she did, because I have no information otherwise. But of everybody, I would say that I would be more than happy to work with everybody again on a new project, and just making sure that we established communication early on, and making sure that we found a way to collaborate at regular times to ensure the progress of the project is moving along successfully. I do thank you for the time to work with these people and making sure that this was a successful project, and thank you for this course.